how we paint our color swatches. So you're going to divide your 11 by 14 Bristol into 2-inch grids. This is not like we did it before for the grayscale. This is different, okay? So you divide it into 2-inch grids like this, and you're just going to paint within that square. As you know, we're just going to use a paper cutter, like a stamp cutter, to cut the 1-inch squares out of, so you don't have to worry about cutting at all. Like you're just going to take your, I did this already, you can see. This is what you will do. You still need to cut them into strips, okay? And it's going to be like, you know, that. That will be a 1-inch. So all you have to do is go cump, but you need to cut all the swatches into strips again, otherwise you can't get the little puncher in there. But you don't have to cut them all out individually again. I'm sorry, not true. You do so that we can sort them. But you don't have to cut the thing out precisely. And there won't be any pencil or pen marks on these whatsoever. So everyone will be happy about that. What everyone will be unhappy about is working with yellow, because it's just a horrible little beast, okay? Same rules, because we did this already with black and white, so you know how to open the thing, you know to open them up, remove the little styrofoam thing, you know how to do that, okay? So I'm going to start here with the yellow. Okay. And yellow always looks good right away. So this is what I want you to do. I want you to start with yellow. And you can pretty much get through this with not as many swatches. Like this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times 5. Yeah, you'll probably have fewer, definitely have fewer than you needed when you were doing the grayscales. You'll end up with like 90. Okay. Now there are a couple of important things though. So go away. So what I want you to do is go with, I want you to start with yellow. You're going to do 3 pages of these. One's going to be from yellow to magenta. The next one will be from magenta to cerulean. And the last one will be cerulean back to yellow again. So I want to always have the core colors in the corners like that. So this time I'm going to go from yellow to magenta. Okay, like that. So I've got yellow here. This thing is so horrible. Look how streaky that is. Oh, I hate this stuff. But that's what we got. So just do the best you can. You know, again, very slowly. Don't overwork it. I know it's streaky, right? I'll zoom in. There we go. It's going to look like that. It's okay. I'm not going to get mad or grade you down for it, right? Then in the middle, I want you to take this, like about roughly half of the paint will be magenta. The other half is yellow. That's just a rough, estimation. And this is why you need the palette knife for this assignment, because you really need to mix them thoroughly. And you'll get a red. So again, I'm mixing it thoroughly so it's not streaky and the colors are fully mixed. Like that. What do I do when I'm done? Back in the water, right? Okay. Clean this off. And this goes in the middle. So you're going to want to go from yellow to red in the middle and from red to magenta in the corner. See, it's not that bad. That looks all right. Not terrible. Okay. So, and now you have something to aim for. Okay, so you can kind of go in order. Uh-oh, you can't help me with anything. Go away, Siri. That's weird. So the thing that's really, this is what I've learned from working with this paint, is that the magenta is really strong and it overpowers the yellow pretty quickly. So when you're adding the magenta to the yellow to get started here, really, I mean like this. Like start with something that small, okay? And check it out. Like, yikes. I mean, it gets orange really quickly. And what happens sometimes is that students, they get too red too fast. It starts yellow, and by here it's like a red-orange. And so you want to be really gentle about adding the magenta. In fact, what I'm going to do is I will paint this, and then I'm going to add more yellow back in. Okay. Here we go. Ready for streakiness? Good times. Oh my God. But again, get it down fairly quickly. And that
Not even like more paint will help, huh?
It won't. It really won't. Again, remember I'm dragging it lightly. Not bad. I'm getting better at this. Don't overwork it, because then you like pull all the paint off. Okay, but even that's too orange right now. I would want to get a little more back in here of yellow. Okay. And at this point, I'm just cheating for the demo. Just make it faster. Okay. There we go. Okay, so try to keep the top row all within orange as best you can, because you need those to get the color wheel started. Okay, try to keep this orange, then it's like gets into red, orange, gets to red. You know the drill. And again, if they are not in perfect order, it doesn't matter, because you still have to cut them out individually so we can sort them and edit them. All right, so try to do it that way. And then each of the 3 pages, remember, yellow, magenta. The next one, and I'm going to just do this, and so let me speed it up. This is the one that everybody likes. The next one would be magenta, which I already have some out, and blue. And because I've already painted magenta, I won't do it again. I'll just leave it there. You know, and then put blue in the other over here. The blue's great. It's like super opaque. You don't really have to work very hard at this. Okay, and then same deal, like just add a little bit at a time. So I'm going to take the blue, just a little bit of the magenta, maybe a little bit more. The blue's pretty strong. See, it's a little deeper blue. This is the reward you get for toughing it out at first. I want you all starting, because it's such a problem, this is what I want you starting with, is with the yellow through the orange. If that looks good, all this stuff is really quick, and it comes very naturally. It stays opaque, and you don't have to really worry about it. Add some more magenta. Darker still, so you get the idea. And eventually this will go all the way to where you've got a mix that's 50-50. Magenta and blue, like that. I'll push it a little more. Yeah, let's make it more purple just for fun. I just want to show you how much it changes. But in terms of the battle of the pigments, so the blue is the strongest, okay? The magenta is number 2, and the yellow is the weakest. So just keep that in mind. I have to add more magenta to the blue to change it than I had to add to the yellow to change that. So just be aware of that. So blue is the strongest pigment, magenta is the second strongest, yellow is the weakest. And now this is getting closer to purple. Not quite, but we're almost there. Okay. But you can see it's harder to change it. I have to add more magenta to do it. There we are. That's a nice purple. Right there. The last thing I'm going to show you is the yellow to green because it's the worst. So what my general philosophical recommendation from a confidence standpoint is start with the really hard ones, the yellow to magenta. And once you've gone through that battle, then you get to the easy part in the middle that's the break, which is the magenta to the cerulean. And then you finish with the cerulean to yellow, which is pretty much fine until you get to green. It'll look great until like the last maybe 10 swatches, but they really are hideous. I won't lie about that. It's awful. It's the worst thing in the world. So now all of a sudden, because the last one is you've got the strongest pigment against the weakest, so you got to be super careful, and it does get really streaky. So just a little bit of blue in with the yellow. Oh my God! Right? I mean, see how that goes green right away. So it's really, really important that you do the same thing at the end with the yellow-green that you did at the beginning with the yellow-orange. Really try to get a last row where it really is yellow-green. Yellower than this. Okay, it's kind of clean. And oh my God, so look at that. Is that the worst or what? Oh my God. Streaky, streaky, streaky. Yeah, it's really a drag. Remember what I taught you when you were doing the grayscales? You know, just lightly drag it